The first myth of entrepreneurship is prepare a business plan. Yes, anybody that you see, probably you are watching this video, you're thinking about starting a business, and one of the things you might have heard is, hey, you need to have a business plan. Yes, although a business plan has a place, it is important you understand that when you are starting the game, it is not about having a business plan. You need a business plan, but not in the format, not in the structure that you think it has to be. Let me give you an example. Every month, I receive hundreds of business plans from people across the globe following me, and they want to pick my brain on the things that they want to do. Some of them are seeking funding for their business, and they present a business plan, and this is a well documented, maybe 12 or 13 page document, and they have all the formats there: executive summary, business profile, directors, founders, markets, and all of those things, their projections and all of those things. Yet it's a beautiful document that you have, but to me, that is absolute nonsense at the end of the day. Listen, if you want to start a business, you need a business plan, but not in that format. Going on Google and copying a pro forma of a business plan and trying to use that as a document to be able to then raise funding, I will say that you are actually smoking something and you will never become successful. The reason why many people start off with a business plan is that they are looking for funding. Now, I'm going to discuss issues about funding in the second point, but one thing you must understand is that having a business plan and approaching investors with a business plan without any proof of concept will just be a waste of time. If you prepare a business plan, well documented, and you send that business plan to an investor and say, hey, listen, this is my idea, I want to do this business, this is my research, this is how I want to do this thing, it's okay, it's well documented, but the investor is not going to give you the money that you are looking for. Why? Because there is no proof of concept. And so there are a lot of things that you need to understand if you want to really start a business and if you want to really go in and build something that is going to be significant. And then later on, you can start the issue about funding. Listen, if you are starting a business from the word go and you are interested in looking for funding, may I suggest to you that may not be the right thing for you to do. May I suggest to you, probably you are not cut out for entrepreneurship. So these are the things that you need to understand. When you approach an investor seeking investment, there are a couple of questions that an investor is going to be asking you. Number one, what is your marketing cost? That is customer acquisition cost. How much will it cost you to acquire customers? Some of you don't even know. You want to go into business, you want to become an entrepreneur, but you don't know what is your customer acquisition cost. You don't even know where your customers are. You don't even know who your customers are. You have no profile your customers. What is your working capital? How much cash are you going to keep on hand? How much trade receivables can you have? How much trade payables should you have? How much inventory should you keep if it is a business that is going to require some inventory at the end of the day? And then how much revenue have you generated? How much is your profit? What is your gross profit margin? What is your EBITDA? What is your net profit margin? These are things that the investors are going to be interested in. So that is why if you want to become an entrepreneur, you want to start a business, and you just bury yourself into preparing that formal document of a business plan and thinking that you can approach an investor and voila, they will give you money, you are smoking. You will never get any money for your idea. Now, it is not that God is not on your side. It is not that people don't like your idea. It is that nobody is willing to bet on any dumb ideas. Because you see, sometimes people just sleep and then wake up and then they dream of something stupid. And then they are like, oh, this is going to sell. And for some reason, their brain and their delusional family and friends will clap for them and say, wow, what a genius idea. Oh, what a nice idea. Boom. They want to become entrepreneurs. Listen, you need to test the concept. Now, there are even marketing experts and business gurus who suggest that if you can sell it before producing it, that is the best thing. But 99.9% of the time, you may not be able to sell it before producing it because of the fact that you're a first-time entrepreneur. Someone like Elon Musk, when Tesla launched their Cybertruck, It was a product idea. They are like, yeah, we want to manufacture this car, bring this car into production, and it's going to change the world. Yes, it was a great car. They launched the idea and they got pre-orders. Hundreds of thousands of people pre-ordered the vehicle. And it took the company about 4 or 5 years before the vehicle actually came out, just early 2024. So that is Elon Musk. Why was it able to convince the market for people to pre-order, pay money, and have to wait for 5 years before the product? Because he has proven himself, because he is a mogul, because he has track record. You don't have any track record. You are not even a C-level executive. Again, I am not by this saying that you cannot go into business, but what I'm telling you is that you need a plan. But the plan you need is not the format in which you are talking about. So what are a couple of things you need before you jump into the arena of entrepreneurship, wasting your time on preparing that formal document? There are core questions you need to ask yourself if you want to become an entrepreneur. The first one is, what is the size of the market? What is the size of the market? You want to sell condoms? You want to sell sanitary pads? You want to sell gari and beans? You want to sell, or you want to have a laundry business? What is the size of the market? It is very important because, the bigger the size of the market, the better. There are some people who are delusional, who will come with the data that, we have analyzed that the size of the market is whatever, $3 billion. And if we get 1% of $3 billion, that is a significant amount of money and we can turn our profit. Please, that is a dream. It is a dream, because if you don't have any track record, you don't have any strategy in place to be able to then get the market, you may be smoking. Number two, is this something people are willing to pay for? In other words, what is the pain level? Yes, you could identify a problem in the marketplace, but maybe people are not searching for it. Maybe people are not willing to pay for it, because you see, the pain level determines whether there is market for this product. The pain level simply means, is this something that is really making people uncomfortable? So let's say you want to have a laundry business. You want to go into a laundry business and you want to open a laundry business. Okay, it's a nice thing. There is no laundry business in your neighborhood. You've seen one or two of your neighbors driving into their homes with their laundry, and you've seen them. You're like, if I open laundry, these people will start bringing their clothes here. The question you need to ask yourself is this something that people want? Because majority of the people in your community probably will be comfortable washing their own things, because 99.9% of the time they don't know the value of their time and they don't even have anything else to do. So they are better off washing their clothes by themselves. So what is the pain level? Is this something people are willing to buy? That is why you need to prove the concept. You see, you don't have a business idea and you go and tell your mom about it, or you go and tell your friends about it. 99.99% of the time, they're not going to tell you the truth. Your mom or your friends are going to tell you, wow, what a brilliant idea. Yeah. This thing, it can work. No. Your mom, your friends are not the people who are going to buy your product. Your mom, your friends, your dad, they are not the people who are going to buy your product. So you cannot receive an approval from them and by that jump into the arena of entrepreneurship. You're going to be bruised. If you're not careful, you'll be killed. If you're not careful, you will lose the battle. If you're not careful, that is the end of your life. So you don't need to prove your concept with your family, with your friends, or with the people around you. You prove your concept by going into the market. And in this day and age, through social media, you can use various tools to find out whether people are really looking out for this thing that I want to do. And you can have an ad. You run ads. So if your customers are people who are likely to be online, then you run an ad on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and you can select geographically a certain location, the people's behavior. That is why you need to know who your customers are, their profile. You can select their behavior, their age level, their level of education, social class, and you can select various things. Then you target the ads to these people and find out how many of them are clicking on the ad, how many of them are trying to read more, how many of them are trying to check out. What are you doing? You are testing the concept. So you can use social media ads. Now, if it is something that your potential customers are not likely to be online, maybe it's a B2B business, then probably you need to go to the businesses. And yes, you don't have the product ready, but you can go to the businesses and try to talk to them. Tell them, hey, listen, we see that you are doing this. We have this product that can help you do A, B, and C. And find out how many of those businesses will show interest in what you want to do. That is called testing. That is called proving the concept. Not your mom, not your dad. They will not pay you anything. They will not give you any money. That is how you prove to find out if really this dream that you are having is actually going to be there. Are people willing to pay for it? This is something that you need to look out for. Then the next thing you need to ask yourself is, who are the major players in the market and what are their strengths and weaknesses? It depends, but there are businesses that you want to go into. You need to identify who are the major players. Are there already businesses in the market offering what you want to offer? What are they good at? What are their weaknesses? Because you have to understand what they are good at and what their weaknesses are. Now, you need to understand this. 99.9% of the time, people are already buying from a certain place. And so you have to be able to then have a preposition which will convince them to stop buying from where they've been buying all this while to come and now buy from you or patronize your product or your service. So it is important you understand who the key players are, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. This is something you get busy doing. And for the most part, you don't need money for this. You can do these things yourself. If you have money to employ experts to do it for you, fine. But for the most part, you can do this yourself. Then, why do you think your solution will succeed? Why you? Why now? Why do you think your solution will succeed? What makes your solution different? Like I said, maybe you want to go into laundry business. Okay. Why do you think your laundry business will be successful? Maybe you want to start selling gari and beans somewhere. Why do you think people will come and buy that gari and beans? Maybe you want to open a restaurant somewhere. Why do you think that restaurant is going to be successful? Why you? Why now? And that is the first thing you need to understand. So instead of sitting down and trying to fill pages with absolute nonsense, with things that are full of dream, you want to get yourself busy and practically gather data that will help you to understand what is going on in the marketplace. Because you see, one of the dumbest things I see from the hundreds of business plans we received monthly is that somebody, yes, they have a dream, they have an idea, and they fill all these pages. Then you see cash flow forecast or forecast. Then they have their budget. Oh, in year one, we'll make revenue of this, expenses of this, and this of that. And they have this, and they have everything there. And right from year one, they are making profit. Year two, the profit goes up. Year three, the profit goes up. Year four, the profit goes up. And in some cases, some people will book a session with me, and you can book a session with me at nhyirapremium.com/consultancy, and you can book a session with me, and I will be able to provide you with some guidelines so that you can really find your way to make sure you avoid certain mistakes in your journey. And people will book a session with me. Then I start talking to them. Then I realize that this is somebody who has never started a business before. This is somebody who doesn't know about customer acquisition cost. This is someone who doesn't have a clue about who their customers are. They don't understand production cost. They don't know supply chain. They don't know anything about working capital management. They don't understand trade receivable. They don't know about EBITDA. They don't know about this. And I'm going to talk about another point later on, that is about team, because if you don't have to know everything, you can bring someone on board to help you so that you can build what you want to build together generally at the end of the day. But that is the first thing you need to understand. You need a business plan, but not in the format you think. Because if you approach me and come with a business plan and you've never run in a business before, you don't have a clue about business. It's just a dream you got up and you had a dream like a child and you're just putting things on paper. How do you tell me that in the first year, your sales will be 100,000 Ghana cedi, your cost of sales will be 35,000, your gross profit will be 65,000, your operating expenses will be 30,000, and your net profit will be another 30,000 there. They don't even know about their tax rate. You are an entrepreneur, you don't know, you don't even understand the tax rate in your environment, in your industry, and people are just dreaming. So you need a business plan, but not in the format that you think.